Good morning, everybody. Let me take my glasses off so I look a little bit younger. Um, it's a little on the chilly side today, so I'm working indoors. It's in the mid 50s outside, cloudy, kind of cool. Down here at the coast, it's a wet cold. So you can kind of see the sky there, kind of cloudy and overcast. The water's nice and calm though, but I'm working indoors today. My son came out, my oldest son Jeremy came out to visit a week ago, and I was trying to think of projects to that we could work on together, and one of the things that was sorely needed is to pull the anchor locker door, do a lot of fiberglass work to it, and also, as you can see here, filling it with some filler. Then I'm going to sand this filler off, and we're going to paint this baby. So it's going to be the white color on the top, and then on the underneath I'm going to use some of my bilge pump, which, like the sole in here or the floor, it's a kind of a gray, a navy gray color. So anyway, that's what I'm doing this morning to get started with anyway, is just filling the weave on the fiberglass after having sanded it. And so we'll let this dry, and then we'll sand it and get her ready to paint. And just to bring you up to date on things, I did yesterday go down and talk to the nice people at Driscoll, and they are going to haul the boat out of the water on the 16th of December. We're going to sand the hull, or they're going to sand the hull, but more and then paint it. But more important than that, what they're going to do is replace the through hulls and the ball valves. So there's 5 of them on this boat. I think we went through this before in a previous video. But there's 5 through holes, and the 90-degree turn on and off handles on all 5 of those are frozen in either the open or closed position. So I can't move them, nor would I even try to move them, because if I did, there's a good possibility that they're so corroded that they would snap off and the Pacific Ocean would come in my boat, and that would not be a good thing. So we're going to get those replaced so I can turn the valves on and off, and when I need to do some work on the motor, as an example, I can turn the ball valve off and replace hoses or whatever like that without the water coming in the boat. So anyway, I'm very excited about that, and we're going to do that on the 16th of December, and then we're going to probably have it out of the water for about 5 days. I found out that I can do some work on the boat beneath the water line while it's out of the water. While those guys are working on the inside, I can do some fiberglass work on the strut, which is where the prop shaft goes through. That strut has what's called dezinctification, and that's just basically corrosion of that bronze piece that stabilizes the prop shaft. And so I am going to clean it thoroughly, dry it out as much as possible, and I'm going to fill it with the same epoxy filler as what I'm using here on this anchor locker door, and then I'm going to fiberglass it and fiberglass it and fiberglass it so that it doesn't, hopefully it doesn't continue to corrode. And if it does corrode to a point to where it becomes weak, then it won't hopefully snap in half while I'm 5 miles out to sea. So all good things happening around here, and I'll bring you in here and let you watch some of my handiwork filling the weave on this fiberglass, and then we'll sand it after that. So I'll catch up with you in just a minute. Until it's complete, let it dry, and then we'll be sanding it down, painting it, and I'll let you see the finished product. when it's complete. Guys, I just had to bring you back in on this sanding project to show off one more time this multi-tool. Tell you what, this thing is the most versatile sander in this case, but also, you know, for cutting, it is just amazing, incredible. You can get into tight places and that kind of thing. So just show you an example here. If you'll see this little nub here, this is where the anchor locker cover locks down. There's a lever that slips over that indentation and keeps the thing locked down. So I got a bunch of filler in there, and it was very hard to sand out by hand. So I, you know, rubbing my thumbs raw with a piece of sandpaper. And then I thought, well, you know, I'll try the multi-tool sanding disc or point. And but I didn't want to use this initially because we're in the garage and I've got Kathy's car here and I got my car over there, and I didn't want to get the cars all dirty, and I didn't want this sander to throw filler all over the garage. But if you just pull it to the first notch, listen how quiet that is, and I can get in there and sand this filler out of here without making a huge dust cloud and without making a whole bunch of noise. So it's really magnificent. And then of course we come over here. I've already done the top, as you can see, but I haven't done the front. So I can just take this, put it on like the second speed, and there's a little bit of dust obviously coming off of this, but not to any great degree. So this is going to make short work of this sanding project, and it's going to not create such a mess. So I just had to let you check that out, and again I'll show you when I'm finished with the whole deal. I am your father. Haha. Okay, so we're done here. I'm talking on the...
Oh!
I'm filming. And you, having invaded my space, are now going to be on YouTube.
Oh, good. That's excellent.
All right, so anyway, back to the work here. I finished sanding. It's been, I'm going to say about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And she's all done. She's all smooth. You can see that the green filler that is left is filling the weave of the fiberglass. And if you notice down here, the little non-skid nubbins, you may be wondering how those are cleaned. And what I do is I take an X-Acto knife and I go in between each one. Just kidding, of course. So what I'll do with that is this. I'll put a wire brush in my drill motor and all over, and sand. I won't use it on this because this is smooth. So anyway, that'll be the finishing step before I begin to prime it. Okay, so here we are outside, and this is the anchor locker, and this is the cavity here where the anchor and rode goes. And the lid that we were working on inside, this is where it covers. I've had a bear of a time getting the hinges out of here. Still got this one to go. I have to cut the screws out because I can't access the retaining nuts underneath. So I'm going to drill these holes out a little bit and put a plug in there, fill it with some sealer, and put the new hinges on. Okay, I think that worked out pretty good. So as you can see, I have the dowels in place in the 3 different places. Again, the far right hand corner is sitting on the hull, the inside of the hull, and I'll have a probably rubber pad underneath that to keep it from rubbing and chafing. And I've got the top of each of the dowels marked so I know the height. And now I will, tomorrow when it's raining like hell, I will cut out a platform and the supports based on these dimensions. And then I will just need to cut out the corner of the icebox, which I'm going to do today, and I'll show you the aftermath of that destruction, and we'll be good to go. So far so good today, and we'll see when things go the other way. All right, I'm back with you, and this is what we have. I cut out a little cross section of the ice box, and what you're looking at here is the drain for it that used to go down here into the bilge. But it looks like the foam here is a construction foam, which I'm sure is quite effective. I think it's the same kind of foam that I used at one time building my airplanes to make a mold out of. As far as the material that the icebox is made out of, here it is. It is fiberglass. That's all it is just fiberglass, laid up fiberglass, and then finished on the inside, and then covered in the foam. So I was kind of expecting metal. I thought maybe the icebox would be metal and then covered, but you know, to conduct more, you know, keep the ice from melting better than fiberglass, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, everything looks pretty positive for taking this entire thing out of here. You can see the rest of the hole here and how far this thing is. And I had estimated it was like 3.5 feet deep, and it's not. It's more like 2.5 to 3, something like that. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with here. So I have the, let me get up here. I have the area cut out for the fridge. And I think to start with, what I'm going to do is just cut out enough of the ice box to where I can put that platform in there and move the refrigerator, and then I'll deal with the rest of the ice box later on after the haul out. But the jobs that I'm doing now, this relocating the refrigerator, as well as cutting out the bottom of this settee over here, which is wood, so that the guys down at Driscoll, the haul out place, can access the through hull fitting and ball valve that's located underneath the counter here. So anyway, that's what we got, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. All right. The time has come to yank this baby out of here. I've done a lot of cutting with the multi-tool, and as far as I can tell, everything's cut. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. There she is. Destined for the dumpster. Woohoo! And I'm left with a gaping hole. All I have to do is cut that foam out of the bottom here. And put the platform in, put the fridge in, do some molding around the edges, and we're there. So major project halfway done. And that little baby right there is going over to that little baby right there. I love it, love it, love it. I thought I'd give you guys a little update on where I am on the platform for the refrigerator. Again, if you'll recall, I cut this space out. There used to be a little cabinet door and a couple of drawers there where I kept flatware and that kind of thing. So I took that out, cut the ice box out, as you can see, and then I built the platform. It was a little more difficult than what I thought to get this platform level, given that it's sitting on the hull, which is not flat at all. So I had to play around with that quite a bit, but I got it done, and so it's nice and level now. So my next task is I'm going to put a bulkhead over on the right hand side, and then another one in the back, and then I've got the other side of the engine compartment to create the bulkhead over here. And then I'll put molding around the edges and get it dressed up a little bit. Kathy doesn't want to lose this space here for potential storage for galley items. So what I'm going to do is put a wooden floor, so to speak, on the bottom here that will come up to the bulkhead, and then also one over in the back side, and then the panels here, which I had originally planned to permanently attach to fill this space where the lid used to be for the ice box. Now what I'm going to do is create just a lift-off panel here, and then there's another one in the back, so that you can access this area to store stuff. And there's an old dirty shelf in here which I'll take out and clean and get it nice looking. So that's an update on this project.